Hello everyone, welcome back to our Global Inspiration Stamp Team presentations today. I love our presentation weekends, don't you? I'm Joy from the Denver, Colorado area, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator there. And we are doing simple fold, so this just opens up like this, just like a normal landscape card fold. And then we're going to turn them into fun folds. So I'm using the Fun for Fall Stampin' Bundle, and it has the stamps and the dies. Excuse me. And I just thought, it's already out, and we have fall. Even though it's summer, fall is going to be here before we know it. So I'm also going to be using some of the lovely 2026 to 2028 Gingham gallery paper. So you have all these kind of bolder checks here, and you have all 5 colors. You get 2 sheets of each color, and then you flip it over, and then you've got the more looser kind of window pane check. So this is so fun and so fun to use even in your summer projects right now, but it's really fun for fall as well. Excuse me. I'm also going to be using some Stampin' Blends. I'm going to tell you what those colors are. So, Stampin' Blends comes in color packs of 2, a dark and a light. So I've got light hydrangea hue and dark hydrangea hue. I'm using those, but then I've got a bunch where I'm just using part of the pack. So we have light pumpkin pie and light lemon lolly. We have a color lifter, of course, in case we need to use that. We also have um, dark smoky slate, and we're pairing that with light basic black. So don't forget to pair up, your colors, different than the color combination they came in. So this is Dark Daffodil Delight. And I used that because I used some crushed curry, and we don't have a crushed curry Stampin' Blends marker, but the dark Daffodil Delight really does go well with it. Then we have light pecan pie, and then we have another new in color, which is the light peaceful pine, and then we have light crumb cake. So those are the colors that I use to color with my blends. We're also going to be using some early espresso ink, and yes, this is a very old pad, but it's still the firm foam, and it still works really well. We still have refills, so that is kind of the beauty of us carrying refills, is you can keep and use your old pads as long as they are a current color. And then of course I have the hydrangea hue and the peaceful pine, which are the new in colors and are in the new magnetic pads. So that's what I'm going to be using today, and let's get started making a fun fold. So, you don't know what fun fold I might be making. Get a hint from my name. Yes, I'm going to be making a joy fold. So I have my pieces here. Let's get my basic pieces here. Get those out. Got our basic pieces here. All right. So we have our basic pieces here. First up, we're going to need some pieces to stamp with. So I just need a scrap to stamp some of the hay bales, and then I need another scrap big enough to stamp my scarecrow, 2 crows, and the banner, the little flag banner that he's holding. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, did you absolutely love all the presentations before? Katie's with the back fold, and then you had Jackie's easel card, and then you had Chrissy with the hot foil system and an easel card. So today, for you, I'm making a joy fold. Alright, we need to get our basic pieces. So, make a joyfold. You need 2 pieces, and no, I did not create the joyfold. Somebody else years ago created the joyfold, but I am using it today because it goes with my name. So, we're going to need a piece that is 8.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And then you're going to score it, if you go this direction, you're going to score it at 5.5 inches. So that was 4 1/4 by 8.5, scored at 5.5. And then you have this piece, which is 3 inches by 8 inches, and then scored in half at 4 inches. So those are our basic pieces that we have for our joyfold. And then of course we need some layers. So we're going to do some of the gingham. We're going to do, excuse me, we're going to do a layer that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then another layer, we're flipping it the other direction. It's the same piece, we're just flipping it the other direction. And it is 2 3/4 by 4. So those are those pieces for those layers. You're also going to need a couple of pieces of Very Vanilla. I chose to use Very Vanilla. And you're going to need a couple of pieces of those. And they are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 times 2. Alright, so let's get some coloring out of the way here, as far as we're going to do some blending on this background. So let's get a scrap piece of paper here. This is one just had an old announcement on it. So we're going to start with our Peaceful Pine. I love the magnetic pads. They're so easy to open and close. And we're going to need a couple of blending brushes. I chose to use the small blending brushes. Wrong one. I need the green one. Okay. Let's go over here. We're going to pick up some ink on our pad. And then we're going to go up here, kind of blend it, and then we're going to make sure that it doesn't have any blotchiness when we're done. So you just keep going until it is the intensity that you want. And then we're going to switch to the hydrangea hue. And we're going to turn it this way. And we're going to bring in our blue blending brush. And again, we're going to go off to the side to try to get rid of that initial blotchiness. And then I'm going to come in and we're just going to blend it. And you just keep blending until it looks the way you want it. So I have a piece that I've already done. So there's my piece I've already done. I'm just going to put this away for now. So again, this was one of my Very Vanilla pieces, one of my 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 Very Vanilla pieces. And let's see, go ahead and get some stamping out of the way. You're going to need 5 of the hay bales. Like sometimes when I don't have enough blocks, I'll mount one stamp on one side and one stamp on the other. So that's what I've done here. And I chose to use crushed curry. And just need 5 hay bales. Then we need other stamps, and we just have a scrap that's big enough for that. Mine just happens to be 4 3/4 by 3 5/8. It just needs to be big enough to fit all of these stamps. So I've got my scarecrow is going to go right up here. Just make sure you hold that on to the paper so the ink absorbs into the paper, and you can just kind of walk the stamp. And we need one of the flags. Flag is going to go over here. The flag needs some words on it. We're going to do the little hay there, and it's curved to fit the flag. So that's nice. And then we need some of the birds, some of the crows. So, excuse me. One crow like that. And here's my other crow. Like so. So as you can see, I fit all of those pieces on that scrap piece. Now, the hay bale gets some of the light pecan pie with this skinny bullet tip. And just do the ties with light pecan pie. And then you're going to need some light pecan pie over here on the scarecrow, just on this pole. And then we need the dark daffodil delight. And we're just going over these little marks on the hay. Just give it a little extra something. Don't need to be precise. Just kind of go over it really fast. And then you've got that. And then, use some of this for the straw of the scarecrow. And that's just kind of how we're doing it. And then you want to make sure it dries really good, but the light lemon lolly is going to go over our little flag here. And I am using the brush tip, but you got to be really careful. And with your blends, you need to make sure that you just very lightly touch your paper. You really don't want to press down with your blends. So we have that. And of course, you would do the pole of the flag with the pecan pie. So, and then you need grass. So you just take your piece of pine and do a little grass here. And then, color his shirt and some of his patches with the piece of pine. And then his face was done with light crumb cake. So that's kind of what we did there. But to save a bunch of time, because nobody wants to sit and watch me do a bunch of boring things, we've already colored and die cut pieces. We have our hay bales. These are what we need for the front. We have a fence, part of the fence that has been die cut with pecan pie. And then we have one of our little crows. So that's what we're going to need for the front flap of our joy flag. All right. So there we have all of that done. Now we can start doing some assembly. Let's get our DSP on first, and we're gonna need some twine for this one. So I'm using from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack the crumb cake here. And we need some glue dots. There they are. Here's my glue dots. So I just need one kind of on the edge here underneath, and another one down below. There we go. Just need a couple of glue dots on the back, and then I'm going to take my baker's twine, the crumb cake baker's twine, and just going to do it. I'm doubling up here. And get some scissors. So here we have that. So we have that wrapped around. That's ready to go. And Facebook is not playing nice with me today, so I will definitely go back and look at your comments. It's not letting me see them right yet, but I will definitely go back and I will reply to your comments and react to your comments, because you know we all love comments. Okay, just getting some stamp and seal on here. So this piece is going to go on the, with the flap, where the flap goes over, but this is going to go on the back. This is not going to be the inside of our cards. You're going to see in a minute how that's going to work. This one is going to go on this flap. This one is going to go here. And I've left a little 1/8 inch border around. And now we're going to bring in this piece. I'm going to set that one aside for a minute. We're going to bring in this piece, and we're going to, first I want to decorate it. I think I'm going to decorate this piece first. Alright, then we're going to take, I just have a little fine tip glue. It does have the Tombow mono liquid glue, so the multi-purpose liquid glue by Tombow. Does have the green glue inside this little kind of fine tip glue bottle here. So we're just going to put a little bit on this fence. That's good for now. I'm going to put this right on the edge and right at the bottom. Okay. Then we're going to put these on with dimensionals. So I have my dimensionals up here. And we just want one for each of these hay bales that we have also colored. Just going to take that off. That's going to go right here. And then we got another one. It's going to go right here. And we got a little gap in between. And that's where our scarecrow is going to go. Again, we need some dimensionals because you all know Joy loves dimensionals. And I got a couple of minis over here. I think I need, well, you know what, I'm just gonna use one of the edge pieces here, I think. And we're gonna cut that down, trim it just a little bit. Maybe cut it in half so we have two skinny pieces because his arms are pretty skinny. Sometimes it's like doing surgery, but it looks so great when you're done. Alright, we need just a little glue just on the sides here, not in the middle part. Because these are going to go on top of our hay bales. And let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. Just get those papers off. And our little scarecrow is going to go right here. And yes, he's going to go off a little bit, which is fine. Now our flag. I wanted to kind of curl the flag, so let's get a bone folder and just curl this a little bit so that it looks kind of like it's waving. Alright, so there it looks like it's waving. There, now I do need a mini. I need a couple of them because I'm going to double stack. So this little part where I created that bend, that's going to get two on it. So one on top of the other. There we go. And then, let's move all this for a minute. We are going to put a little bit of this glue. You want some on the pole up here, kind of almost to the end. You want a little bit of glue right here, right there. Again, I said we want to make this like it's waving. Put some glue, a little bit of glue there. And we have our dimensionals in the middle there, so it creates like a little bump, but it looks like it's waving. So hopefully you can see that. Then we have our little bird here. I'm just going to mold in a little bit with my fingers. And we're going to put one mini dimensional on him, right there in the middle of his body. And then we're going to stick that right where his feet are kind of resting. So we kind of tucked in the bottom of the die just a little bit. So it looks like his feet are resting on the fence. Alright, so now we have our little scene here. And we're going to put it on this part of our Joy Fold card. Now, again, like I said, I love dimension. So I'm going to pop this up because Joy just loves lots of layers that look like they're have dimension. Yep, lots of dimension there. Don't want any saggy parts, so I'll probably overdo it. But dimensionals are not very expensive, so I don't mind putting a bunch on here. Okay. Here. Oh, that one doesn't want to come. There we go. Alright. Now they're good. So this one, so this is going to look like it's opening wrong, but this is correct. And then you just center this layer on this part. Now this part gets glued to the back side here. Oh, let's see. I want to be able to move it around a little bit, so I'm just going to use the liquid glue. This is going to get centered on here. I think that's correct. With my fingers, kind of check it out here. There we go. So now we've got our little flaps, but we're not done decorating yet. So we need to decorate this flap. So I have some more pieces that I've done. I have this, whoops, there's part of my bow. I have this piece that's the corn stalks, or you could make it into flower, stems. Anyway, you see it's white on the back. That's because I've added adhesive sheet on the back before I die cut. So adhesive sheet goes on the back of your piece of cardstock before you die cut. And I'm going to take this off and use our Take Pick tool to try to help get that up. Okay. And there was a piece, if you notice, that made a whole bunch of tiny ovals for the die cuts. So that's where I got my little corn for my corn stalk. Let me show you that piece here. It's this piece here. It cuts out 8 of them. And my little scarecrow's falling off. So that piece there cuts out 8 little ovals that you can use for your corn. So now we're going to just put, since it's sticky on the back, I'm just putting some of those on the back here. Just need 3 of them. And 1 more. So those are on the back, ready to go. And we need some fencing. So I believe that's going to go here. There we go. Okay, we need some fencing here. We'll go right there. I'm not pressing the top down yet because I need my corn. I need a little dab of glue on each of those yellow crispy parts. Oops, come back here. So then this is going to go kind of here behind the fence. And we need another piece that's going to go over here. Don't want to overlap. I think I'm just going to go this way. Alright, so we need more fence. I didn't need that last one, I don't think, but anyway. Have some fence over here, and we need to cut that. We need to trim this, even with our gingham. So lots of little pieces, but when you're done, it just really is awesome. I need some hay bales. I want one or dimensional, maybe. I think I need 3 of these. One, two, and then one popped up. Okay, that's how I want it. That goes there. And another one. Aren't you glad I went ahead and die cut and colored some of these ahead of time? Because you'd be watching me for hours. That would not be fun. Okay. One on a dimensional. So that one's going to go here. That one's popped up. So, kind of got your little going on like this and then that. And we do need our little bow, which is right here. And I've just doubled it up, tied a knot into it, and then just frayed the ends. So that's what I've done for that. Need another blue dot. Blue dots are wonderful, aren't they? Oop, get that out of the way. And this I'm going to go right up here. Got our little frayed tie bow there. So there we got that outside. Open one flap and then the other flap. So this is our inside piece. That's where our other very vanilla comes in. And let's see, let's go ahead and cap that. We need, this set has some great sentiments in it too. So we've got the hay there, you know, which is spelled H-A-Y, like a hay bale. And then we have hoping your day is wonderful. So we are going to stamp that again in our early espresso. I'm going to just lightly tap this because this is firm foam. And hoping we get this straight. Beautiful. And we need a hay bale and a crow. So you actually need 6 hay bales. Because you need 5 and then another one. So you need 6 hay bales, not 5. Um, this is going to go on here. We just need glue. And a little bit of glue on the bird. My little crow here. Now the crow I chose to do dark smoky slate with light basic black for the wing because otherwise you just couldn't see the details of the crow. Done it like that. This is going to go on the inside with a little bit of a border around. And don't forget our little crow here. And he's kind of, his mouth is open backwards, so you're going to just barely tuck that in. So he's like pointing towards your sentiment there. There you have it. This is a joy fold. So I've gone from the simple fold to a joy fold. So you have open, open, open. Well, this makes a really, really cute card. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation. Don't forget to join us again. Set your alarm clocks and get up tomorrow morning so you can watch us live because it's always more fun live. And let's get ready to watch Diane, who will be, let's see, 8 o'clock Mountain Time, which is my time, but 9 o'clock Central Time is when Diane will be on in the morning. And she will have another great fold for you, so stay tuned for that. And then until next time, talk to you later. Bye.